Hey everyone, new year, new start. I'm going to try getting back in the swing of these videos. Life just kind of got the best of me last year for doing this. This was just a simple tilapia and Japanese style fried rice dish that I threw together. Didn't know what I was making for dinner, so I checked the freezer and this is kind of what I came up with. The Cobs of Corn I actually froze at the end of summertime so that I'd have them through the winter. Soon you'll see a video come out on essential kitchen appliances and gadgets that I think everybody should have that are very affordable. Most of them are $25 or less. For instance, a basic rice cooker like this you can get from a lot of stores for $15, and they're good for a lot of different meals. Now, measuring the water is interesting because I learned it through a Malaysian guy who taught me the finger method for doing it. But you can do it just by the directions of the bag as well. I'm also using a Japanese rice that is imported directly, and it's pre-rinsed as well, so I don't have to do a whole bunch of the rinsing under the cold water like you do with most rice. You can use far more affordable long grain rice that is in your regular grocery store. Just make sure you wash it really well. You should also do the rice at least a day in advance. I didn't do that because I thought of this last minute. So all I did was spread mine out on a pan and put it in the fridge for a couple of hours, and it dried it out enough to be able to do this. You'll also notice that in the beginning you saw the bacon. Normally I wouldn't use bacon. I would use chicken or pork loin or something like that, or pork belly if I had any, but I didn't have any that was readily available out of my freezer, so I had some bacon in the fridge and it does the same job. What you see me doing there, on a cheaper rice cooker like this, it will usually sear the bottom a little bit. It's not a big deal if you take it out and you're letting it sit overnight, because all of that crispiness will actually soften back up overnight. In my case, I had to peel it off because I didn't have that much time to do this. Just spread it out on a sheet pan or in a frying pan like I did right here. I just threw it in the fridge. After it's dried out, put it in a bowl. You'll also notice that I switched Ponzu bottles in the middle. It's because I realized that this Ponzu bottle must have fallen somewhere and the lid was cracked, and I don't know for how long. So instead of risking getting sick, because it's never worth it, I just used another one I had in the fridge. So crack your egg into the rice, mix it all together so it's really evenly coated. This is the way that all Japanese rice packets say to do it. The seasoning packet you see to the side there, you can get from most Asian grocery stores, and now you can actually get them in a lot of international sections of larger grocery stores. And all they do is give you every seasoning that you need for your fried rice without having to get multiple different sauces to get the same flavor. Now you kind of got a couple of options when you do this. I prefer to cook my bacon with my peas. I find that it makes the peas taste a lot better. Or if you don't want to deal with trying to separate these individual pieces, which you're going to see very soon here, cook the two slices of bacon in advance till they're just soft, and then cut them on a board after. And then that way they stay separated. You'll see in the pan though, it'll make sense. Turn your pan on roughly medium heat-ish. I'm just using one of the gas stove top burners like this because it's easier for filming, but it works the same on any induction, electric type coil grill or stove or gas. couple tablespoons of olive oil, or sorry, of canola oil. That's about all you need for oil for the whole process. Toss your peas in, toss the bacon in. Now this makes 2 fairly large meals. I was extremely full at the end of this. You could probably feed 3 people off this without much issue. Or if you got smaller appetites, possibly even 4. And it's quite affordable. The tilapia, if you keep an eye out, at least in Canada here in superstores, every once in a while on the end caps, they're going to have promotions on certain frozen seafood. And these tilapia fillets, I got 5 bags of 2 for $10. So always keep an eye out for the frozen fish section. Once this all cooks down and is ready to go, when you put your rice in, you have to work a little bit quickly to make it all work. I did speed up the footage later on, but you need to work fairly quick so that you can mix the seasoning packet in while the egg is still still loose. That seasoning packet might not look like anything special, but my goodness, does it work well. And like I was saying, mix for this part. Japanese fried rice is greatly different from Chinese or Korean. It's fairly close to what I've had overseas, as far as for like if you're in a cheaper little fast food kind of place. Still delicious though. Let the bottom get some crispy bits on it, break it up, and then let it cook again a little bit. Pat of butter in the pan for your fish. Now, we're going to see here, I did overcook the fish a little bit on the one side because it was very thick on one side and very thin on the other. If I was to do this again, I'd probably separate the fillet into 2 pieces and cook 2 pieces a little bit later than the larger sides. But honestly, if you're just hungry and you just want to make dinner, this works fine. Now I sped this up because there's no point in watching fish sizzle. I added a little bit of salt and pepper probably a couple minutes into the cook. I had just forgotten, honestly. But what we want to do realistically is get it to about 90% cooked, and then that's when you add the ponzu and do a really quick glaze on it at the very end. And if you are, when you're flipping the fish, if you lose a little piece here and there, it's not a big deal. If you're just cooking at home, it doesn't make much difference. You can kind of see when I turn the pan there, though, that the one side of that fish is substantially thicker than the other. But it's got a nice color on the bottom. Let it go for a few more minutes. If you poke it and it's hard to explain what to feel for the cook time on fish, but as long as it's thawed, it doesn't take long. Start to finish, this dish, not including the time for the rice to cool, took me less than 25 minutes. Add the ponzu on. Doesn't take very long to do this part either. But you can see what I was saying. I overcooked the one side of it. That's why it's breaking apart. Didn't taste too overcooked though when I ate it. I could tell it was. Then you got that beautiful color on the other side there from the soy caramelizing onto it. And you can see I broke a chunk off over there, but again, it makes no difference when you're at home. Simple plating. Nothing fancy. But thank you so much for watching. I will put the recipe in the comments, or sorry, in the description. Hopefully I'm going to have videos out every Tuesday now. No guarantee whether or not it's going to be tech or food every time, but thank you so much again.